But yeah, another movie concerning marriage is an American picture, Adam's Rib, a George Cukor comedy in question mark.
Yeah. No.
I mean, I do think this movie is intended as a comedy. It is certainly sort of presented as such.
This is the second time that I've watched a George Cukor comedy and not really found it funny at all. I did not like Philadelphia Story.
I like Philadelphia Story,
but I was looking, I was like, man, do I hate everything? But I love Gaslight. Gaslight's great.
Was that George Cukor?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Gaslight's great.
That's a hard pivot.
But like
right, when he's leaning into things being creepy and upsetting. Great. Yeah. He's trying to make it funny.
These were beloved comedies. Like Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn. Yeah. This was like a vehicle for them. This was their sixth movie
we've
together,
watched, I think multiple movies of them separately. I think this is our first
yeah, but they're known as a duo.
Spencer Tracy, Katharine Hepburn movies, right? And I don't know. They were married? During the making of this. I think they were at least together. I know this movie primarily from seeing the movie poster on the wall at Daily Planet, the local diner-themed restaurant in Poughkeepsie.
Diner-themed restaurant.
It's not really a diner. It's not 24 hours.
Correct.
But back in the olden times, they had all the rooms were themed on 20th century decades, and the 40s section had a big poster of this movie on the wall. And so I recognized it from that.
It's the hilarious answer to Who Wears the Pants. This is ostensibly a comedy movie, but I really think of it as like...
I like the premise a lot. I think the setup is great.
Here's the thing, it's like, it's a drama with a cute premise. Right. Like that, it's not a comedy movie. It's like a movie about things being bad.
Yeah. Well, it's like I'm always very impressed when like a comedy movie can like get very serious or like have really dark subject matter or that sort of thing, but remain funny and remain threading that needle of tone. I'm always, whenever it's pulled off, I'm very impressed.
I love that when it's pulled off.
I think this is a very good example of like it not quite pulling it off.
No.
Of not threading the needle of being like, this is supposed to be a comedy, and yet it is like at times incredibly upsetting or dark, or where it's like the tone feels out of kilter.
Yeah. The funniest part in this movie,
because it's like really silly and farcical at times, and it is at other times like shockingly dark.
Yeah. Yeah, shockingly, like,
but not in a way where it's like they pulled it off. It does both. It's like it does both, but
it's like Jesus.
It feels like it's breaking the movie.
Yeah. The funniest part in this movie is in the very beginning, I think, when there's somebody who is like about to walk into a room. She's holding a gun. And she's like, okay, I'm gonna shoot the people in the room, and then she is like reading the manual for like how a gun works,
right?
While right outside the door.
It's like pulls out a gun, and you're like, oh, it has a gun, and then pulls out like the manual, and is like reading, how I don't know what she would be reading, and that
take the safety off,
pull the hammer back, put bullets in gun, yeah.
That was very funny. I don't think anything else in this movie.
I mean, that feels almost like a Looney Tunes joke. Like, that feels very kind of cartoonish, which is not really something this movie ever really gets back to. Maybe a little bit in some of the courtroom scenes. I guess the basic premise of this movie is Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn are both lawyers who are married. And...
to each other.
Yes. And wind up on opposing sides of the same court case. Where Spencer Tracy is the prosecutor for the state of New York against this woman who shot her husband but didn't kill him, and Katharine Hepburn is defending the woman who shot her husband because she's like, womanhood is important. And so then it's like, oh, they're married, but they're against each other in the court case. What's gonna happen?
Yeah, it's a cute premise.
Yeah.
But like the second the premise begins, it's bad vibes.
Right. Well, because it's like the movie is trying to mine their like marital strife for laughs, which I guess is maybe just a thing that I don't find very funny, or at least not in this instance.
Yeah.
Like, it's you're just watching like the dissolution of a marriage, but like not in an entertaining way. It's just them like getting meaner and meaner towards each other, and I'm like,
yeah. And like, so she takes this case. She wasn't going to take the case. It's hard to know where this movie stands too, because she is basically like, I believe in women's lib. I believe that women are equal to men. The whole kind of premise is that, like, of her taking this case is that she wants to make sure this is a crime that a man might have gotten away with and a woman wouldn't. And so she wants to fight to make sure this woman, who she thinks otherwise probably should go to jail, would get away with the crime.
It's a domestic violence case where she is advocating for the woman to get away with domestic violence because she's like, equality.
Yeah. And like, and she basically admits, like, I know that this person is kind of bad and did the wrong thing, but like, I'm attaching this external meaning to it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's become a crusade, basically.
Also, a lot of this premise is like founded upon the idea that, like, if a man shot his wife, he'd get away with it. And it's like, wait, what? 1940s? Are you okay? I mean, no, clearly not, but we all knew that. And like that, I think that too is a thing where I kind of chafed on pretty early on of like, wait, this argument seems strange.
Yeah. And so it just becomes extremely petty, but not in a cute way.
Yeah,
in like a gross way.
Right. It's like I don't really feel this way about Philadelphia Story. I do think the Philadelphia Story is funny and charming, but I think watching this movie, I felt the way you did during that, which was like, this just feels mean-spirited in a way that I do not enjoy.
Yeah. Right. And I mean, it's like, I can get on board with a mean-spirited movie, but this movie is trying to be cute. And it's like, just
It is
failing.
at times, I think, yeah, trying too hard to be cute too. Where like it's going too far into like farcical stuff that the like more grounded things, it's like, wait, this, yeah, that again, that's the tone thing. Like, if you've already established this as like a grounded thing about like important topics, and then it gets like really wacky, it starts to kind of undermine that.
It's trying to have its cake and eat it too.
I guess so. I mean, really, if you're gonna have a cake, you should eat it. But one of the things that kind of break this movie for me is like Katharine Hepburn's character wins the court case. The woman who shot her husband is not declared not guilty. She gets away with it. I also feel like she's declared not guilty, I guess, on all charges. Whereas I think maybe not guilty for like attempted murder, but guilty for like aggravated assault might be acceptable. But
Right.
The movie is like, we don't care about that. And then Katharine Hepburn is sort of caught in a somewhat half joking, like canoodling with her next door neighbor.
Who's been like hitting on her super hard.
Yeah, but like hitting on her in a way where it's like he's hitting on her so much that it's sort of like, oh, I'm just joking around. But it's like
and then Spencer Tracy's
he
just
reveals
like,
that he is actually serious.
Yeah.
And yeah, the whole time Spencer Tracy is like, this guy sucks. And I agree.
He does.
That guy is, I do not want him in my house. Like, he is a guy that like shows up to a dinner party and is immediately just like touching everything. He's sitting on your couch. He's drinking all your drinks. And you're like, dude, you need to chill the fuck out. They go to watch home movies and he's talking through the whole thing.
He thinks he's the funniest
He's
Mystery
doing
Science
bits
Theater
the
guy.
whole time. And I'm just like, you need to shut the fuck up, dude. You're not as funny as you think
And
you are.
that's Spencer Tracy just sitting there, just like getting
Withering glare against him, which like, yeah.
I mean, I'm used
Which
to
was
seeing,
also how I was watching that character.
Yeah.
Just like, this guy sucks.
You know, it's like I wanted to see this movie because I wanted to see Spencer Tracy in a comedic role because
He gets
my
nothing funny to
yeah,
do.
like my feeling with like my thought toward him is seeing him in Fury,
Right.
where he is just reaching the pits of humanity,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then in this movie, he's just mad the entire time.
Yeah.
He is like, I mean, he's got a good like kind of pissed off Mike Ehrmantraut face, you know.
Oh, yeah. Good comparison.
But like,
yeah.
and he plays mad good, but like it's
Plays mad good, bro.
he plays mad good.
Um,
So I would say if I met him in the court, in the basketball court, I mean, the ways that you're watching their marriage fall apart, it kind of ends up mirroring some of the case. I think that like,
but so right, the scene that again like kind of broke the movie for me was after Spencer Tracy catches them two together, and like Katharine Hepburn is not into it, but is sort of like, you know, not is sort of humoring him a little bit, and then Spencer Tracy breaks in. He's got a gun, and he's has them at gunpoint, and it's like a very tense, like scary, upsetting scene of him like with a gun, and like both of them like Katharine Hepburn like, please like don't shoot, like.
and it
It's
become
like-
it
it's
feels
played
entirely plausible that he would have gotten to this point.
And it's played entirely straight, and then he puts the gun in his mouth and bites down and starts chewing and goes, licorice. And I'm like, no. that does, I'm sorry, that joke does not work for me.
It was a crazy thing to see. Like it's extreme. It goes to such extreme darkness. And this is the thing. It's like if it were more cartoony and it went to a place that dark, it would be okay. You know, I think it could be okay.
Yeah.
But like because everything in the movie feels like it could naturalistically be leading up to this guy, like he's having this mirroring reaction where like his marriage is falling apart. It's driving him to murder, you know, or suicide or something. And it like when he puts the gun in his mouth, you're like, oh my God.
There's also, to a certain degree, there's a thought where like, I do think the older a movie it is, something is like the less bound to what our like expectations of it are a little bit. We're like, I think we've watched enough early movies at this point to be able to say like, sometimes they just take wild choices and are just like, oh, that's how you're ending this movie? Okay.
Yeah.
And like, that was a moment where I was like, this movie's old enough where like, this might just like take such a wild left turn. The movies still do this, but like,
It seems to have been received well at the time.
yeah, I mean, you know, people were in a weird mood in the late 40s, I guess. The thing that works the best about this movie, for sure, is the like, just the chemistry between Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn. Like
Particularly in the courtroom.
particularly in the, I mean, in every scene. Like, I think a lot of the scene is them like sniping at each other, which is a little bit less fun to watch, probably. But like, definitely the courtroom scenes, and also just like their like banter feels very naturalistic, very lived in.
Yeah.
Understandably. Like, I understand
They're going for the third man. Or not the third man, the thin man.
right.
They're going for the
They're
thin
not
man.
pulling off the thin man.
No.
Because I also think like their banter in this movie, the writing in this movie is not nearly as strong as in the Thin Man.
Yeah.
And I think the Thin Man tonally is a little sillier.
Oh, it's way sillier. Yeah.
Even though the Thin Man is like about murder and crime and is like also tackling pretty dark subject matter a lot of the time. But there's never a point where like Nick Charles puts a gun in his mouth and is like, I'm gonna kill myself. But like, I can see why the like Tracy Hepburn duo became such a like, people just wanted them to be in movies all the time. Like more, like give us that all the time. Like I get it. I want to watch more of their movies. Hopefully that maybe are a little bit more successful than this one.
I mean, I think Spencer Tracy, I think he's good in stuff, but I feel like the dynamic is being held up by Katharine Hepburn's charmingness. Like,
yeah, I mean, I think in the scenes where they are happy,
the
Spencer
three
Tracy
scenes that they're happy.
Yeah, I think Spencer Tracy gets a bit more lightness to play.
Yeah.
Right? He's playing like angry in this movie so much that it does start to be like, you're like, can this guy like do something fun?
She's doing all of this because she has this kind of like feminist perspective or like a political project like behind like all of the actions that she's taking. And like, I think in many ways he's like, I'm on board with what you're doing, but you're like ruining my life specifically right now. Like the way that you're doing this is really like causing problems for us. And she, I think, is kind of like so swept up in her project that for so much of the movie that she is like not fully witnessing how much it is ruining their marriage.
Yeah.
And then like by the time that she realizes it's too late, basically. I think that the movie,
only that it isn't, because like the stakes of this movie are like, oh no, what about their marriage? And at the end it's kind of like they have this huge fight and then it's just sort of like, I guess it's fine now.
Yet not earned. And also like they subvert it again like right afterward, where he's just like, yeah, I can fake cry too. I didn't mean any of that stuff I just said.
It's like
This movie, I think it seems like it's trying to say something about, you know, equal rights for women and feminism and all of that. I think that it is maybe...
It's also kind of trying to make fun of that as a concept, though.
It is a bit.
Yeah.
Like, I think that it's saying that she is going too far.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know if the movie is saying that she's going too far. Well, there are some ways where it's like, she's going too far with her project, but not her perspective. But I think that gets kind of muddled in the movie because like they get tied together. And so you're watching like there's a way of looking at this movie and going, crazy feminist ruins a marriage, you know? And like that would be an entirely legitimate reading of this movie because the movie kind of suggests that in a way. But like there are other ways that the movie, you know, shows, oh, like he puts an apron on and he like, you know, they cook dinner together. That's kind of a nice scene, right? And there are ways that they have this kind of very equal between each other dynamic. They're both lawyers. They're both, you know, really like,
they're a power couple.
Yeah. Yeah, like where this movie stands with women's equality stuff, it wants to kind of like play in that water, I think. But it doesn't.
Right, but without really taking too hard of a stance on it, almost. It feels a little bit non-committal, I guess, in that sense.
I think that it inspires some interesting thoughts along those lines. I think some of the more interesting things, like the ways that this movie is interesting are like some of the ways that it brings up the feminist issues. I think that it does inspire some interesting thoughts. And also just if you were to take it as a drama, the ways that you watch their marriage fall apart are kind of like really upsetting and heartbreaking in this interesting, gut-wrenching, dramatic way. But like I think so much else about the movie does not work.
Yeah. I think I wasn't thinking of this while I watched the movie, but now that I'm thinking back on it, I'm kind of reminded of the recent release, The Roses, with Olivia Colman and Benedict Cumberbatch as a married couple whose marriage is dissolving. And they were very mean to each other, that whole movie. I think that movie is more successful in sort of like a comedy about the dissolution of a marriage.
Right.
Because both those characters are kind of presented from the get-go as being like kind of not great. Like they're presented from the beginning as like kind of mean, not traditionally likable characters, but also they're played by two of the like most charming British actors possible. So it's like they're still very watchable the whole time.
And it's not that possible for British actors to be charming. That's what you're saying.
It's not that possible?
You said the most charming possible. For a Brit, they're pretty charming.
For a Brit. No, I'm saying that's like, you know, they're like of all of the charming British actors you could have cast.
Yeah.
You got two of the best.
Yes.
But I mean, I think the strengths of both are the same. Like the strength of that movie is definitely casting. I think the strength of this movie is also casting. Like you were saying, like the courtroom scenes, which we haven't. That's like most of the movie we haven't really talked about. They keep doing the thing where like one of them will drop a pencil under the table because they're both at the same table.
Yeah.
On opposite ends, and they drop pencils so they can duck their heads under the table and like have a silent conversation under the table with each other.
Yeah. And it starts as
always good. Like that, they do that like a couple of times in the movie, and every time I was like, "Great, I love this."
But it starts as cute, and then it ends up with them to like, it almost feels like she flips him off like under the table.
Oh no, she does. She kisses her middle finger.
Yeah, like I was kind of surprised that
A little bit,
flew,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. And yeah, there's like, I think there are points in that like where they're like at each other's throats as lawyers, and yet they keep like going back to sort of like moments of like they'll refer to each other as pet names in court, and then the stenographer is like, "You called her what? Pinky? Like how is that spelled?" And it's like, "Y for him, I for me." There are lots of moments in this movie that I think are very charming. I just think they are outweighed by the moments where I'm just like, nope, this does not work.
Yeah.
I
felt awful after watching this movie.
I didn't feel awful. I just felt kind of a little bit disappointed because I was hoping I would enjoy it more. There's definitely stuff to be enjoyed in this movie. It's just I found the off-putting parts to be they won out in the end.